If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is November the 1st, 2023, and today the topic is Quarrels and Infighting. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you all had a wonderful Tuesday. Mine was just fine. Main thing I did yesterday was recording an episode of the GSL Talk Show. Good conversation that is coming out in the future about finances and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that, because I think we definitely need to hear what was said yesterday. Outside of that, the meeting that I had got canceled. So yeah, it was pretty chill after my episode. I had some more conversations and things of that nature. That's about it. I don't think it's none of y'all's business, the rest of what happened. So let's go ahead and get into the juice. So this morning, all right. Okay, so again, everybody know what yesterday was. Did you celebrate? Did you not celebrate? I guess technically we didn't. We didn't do anything in particular or whatever, because I guess the festivities that I took part of over the weekend kind of handled that. And again, I worship on both Saturday and Sunday and things of that nature, and everything. So, I think that is partially the inspiration, because again, I know I talked to y'all about this before, but it seems like this time of year, you're going to hear back and forth in the Christian community and outside of the Christian community about, holidays and everything like that. And, hey, to each your own. We got free will. Do what you feel led to do, X, Y, and Z. I think I've been pretty honest on here and clear that, hey, there's some things I'm not fully sure about, but at the same time, I don't feel the convictions, I guess, that other people feel regarding certain stuff or whatever the case may be. But does that make me less Christian? I don't know. I don't know. But I will say that, yeah, that's partially the inspiration for today's conversation, because again, you're going to see online back and forth. And, you're going to see good points on both sides about whether or not you should celebrate or whether or not you should do this or that as a Christian. And so, I guess I was led to kind of have a conversation about this morning. I don't know if I'm coming from a different perspective or not, but I'm going to try to come from Bible. So, hey, let's go with that. I'm trying to think of, what else was the inspiration outside of just knowing that the holiday season brings forth these conversations. But I don't think there was anything, when it came to the time that I woke up or anything like that. I think maybe the prayer meditation kind of led me towards looking into this as well, but it wasn't that it was about holidays or something. I can't even remember what the prayer meditation was about, because, again, my mind got so engulfed into this conversation that the Lord has given me. But, again, y'all can go and listen to the prayer meditation with the Soul Space app. Y'all know it's something I do every day to get my heart and mind prepared to receive a word from the Lord. Now, again, man, I wish I could remember exactly what got me to this, but my apologies, I don't in this moment. But anywho, let's get into it. So one of the first things I did, I remember it was something along the lines, I think the word infighting came into my heart and mind. And I looked that definition up, and then I looked up the definition of quarrel. But the interesting thing is I wrote it the opposite way when I started to write down the definitions. I wrote quarrel first and then infighting. I don't know if that means anything, but I'm just sharing with you guys what happened. So this is what the definitions say. Quarrel, a heated argument or disagreement, typically about a trivial issue and between people who are usually on good terms. And then infighting says hidden conflict or competitiveness within an organization. I guess it goes without saying that. I mean, definitely both of these things are taking place in the Christian community. And I think it's just very interesting because when you look at the verses, or I don't know if I wrote down any of them, but when you look into this and like study it and whatnot, you're going to see plenty of verses that tells us not to do that. You know, don't quarrel about opinions and X, Y, and Z, and this whole thing about meat and holidays or special days or whatever the case may be. And so let me just get into the Bible because there's things to say, but at the same time I feel like that's, y'all get that from everywhere. You can get other people's opinions. And if I just stop right there for a moment, let me just because as I was going through my study this morning, it was like I was led to look into the whole infighting thing, and then ultimately what had came to me was that people are it's like personal convictions. We're taking our personal convictions and putting them on other people. And then so I was looking into that as well. And then which matter of fact, I think I forgot to write down that article at gotquestions.org. But if you guys just look up personal convictions, there was a good article about that at gotquestions.org. And then that ultimately led me to like looking into the other stuff that I looked into that I did write down. So hopefully this will help us today in regards to all of this. So here goes some Bible. All right. Proverbs 17:14. It says, the beginning of strife is like letting out water. So quit before the quarrel breaks out. Ooh. You know what? This reminded me of the conversation yesterday about, what was it called? The floodgates are open. I'm like, well, Lord, are these the floodgates that are open? The floodgates of quarreling? I mean, yeah, again, it seems like, especially this time of year, you see all the back and forth. You see all the, commentary. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Da, 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 da. And granted, again, maybe you shouldn't, again, if you have a personal conviction of this or that, within reason, obviously, let's not just go against Bible completely. Now we're not talking about like just going out here and doing things that are just like black and white sins or whatever the case may be. But again, when we're talking about what you should eat and what day you should worship and all this different type of stuff, like if you have a personal conviction about that, then maybe you shouldn't, but that doesn't mean I should go and tell you that you shouldn't. At least that's what I'm receiving when I'm looking into the Bible and what it got to say about it. So some of this stuff, we could do like this verse say, and quit before the quarrel breaks out, I'm gonna leave it there. I ain't even gonna add my personal opinion to that. Like that's what the Bible would say. It say the beginning of strife is like letting out water. So quit before the quarrel breaks out. Here go another verse. Let me see. Luke 17:3. It says, pay attention to yourselves. If your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. So here's the thing, again, that I feel like should be the even playing field for all of us. Guess what? We all have sinned and fallen short. None of us is perfect. None of us is out here living a sinless life. And that don't mean, again, like, I ended up looking up things in regards to freedom in Christ and whatnot as well. And I think that's what ultimately led me on this path this morning, like looking into things like freedom in Christ and whatnot. Because to me, I'm like, okay, the Lord has made us free. Why are we trying to put ourselves in bondage and other people in bondage by, cracking down on what Christ has set us free from? But at the same time, I understand that the Bible is clear. That doesn't mean you should go out here and do everything X, Y, and Z. Because everything ain't good for you to do. So I'm with all that. The Bible is clear about that too. I'm just, you see a lot of, I guess, finger pointing, right? And again, telling someone they're wrong. And hey, don't get me wrong. There's a time for that. Matter of fact, there's one thing I went deeper about as well. At gotquestions.org. There's an article that's called "When is it necessary to rebuke another believer?" Sometimes it is necessary, So I'm not sitting here trying to. You know what? I was thinking I probably could go viral if I call out like some of the stuff I've been seeing and some of the people, because obviously those people have already established platforms and stuff. And I can sit here and be like, because such and such is teaching that, and because such and who over there is teaching this or that. Man, I'm not saying anything in regards to against what they're teaching, because again, if they're calling out certain stuff or if they're calling out certain people, perhaps God has led them to do that. I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying the back and forth and the infighting amongst believers, is it beneficial? And then the public one as well. And don't get me wrong, public rebuke is biblical as well, So I'm not saying anything against it, but what I'm just saying is that when it comes to, again, the infighting and the quarrels that the Bible is clear that we shouldn't infight and quarrel about, I think that's what my conversation is about today. Like, again, I'm not going to take my personal conviction and then tell you that and uphold you to my personal conviction. You know what, Lord? Again, I've been very clear on here about my masturbation journey, right? And here's the interesting thing. Like, I want to say last week, in the conversation I was telling y'all about that I had or whatever, I know the ladies, kind of started talking about, that's, X, Y, and Z, and they was, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they are wrong about what they believe that masturbation is. Obviously, again, God has convicted me, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. But at the same time, I've been very clear as well to say that, hey, it's not in the Bible, and it has kept me from other sins. So I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. I'm just saying, for me, it's been beneficial to withstand and maintain self-control, and it's taken me to another level spiritually. Now, I'm not putting that on you if you haven't been personally convicted by that. I'm just giving that as an example. I hope that helps, because I know it kind of gets a little difficult when it talks about like holidays and Sabbaths and food and everything, like all of that. Like, we can sit here and say, okay, well, this is that, and this is the sin, and that's the sin, and this is the sin, that's the sin. Guess what? I think what I've received this morning about this is that this is why we needed Christ. Because yeah, everything probably is a sin. And none of us could do it. None of us could, we've all fallen short, and we needed Christ. And through him, we are made free. Now, that don't mean I get out here and do all the things, and, X, Y, and Z. But it does mean that there is some liberation, I think. Again, now that's personal opinion. You guys can look up Bible. That's centered around Bible, but again, be led by God. So here we go. Let me give y'all some more Bibles so I can stop talking. 2 Timothy 2:23 and 24. It says, "Have nothing to do with foolish, ignorant controversies. You know that they breed quarrels, and the Lord's servants must not be quarrelsome, but kind to everyone, able to teach, patiently enduring evil." Whew, we can go deeper with all that, y'all. I mean, this what is standing out to me the most in that? Let me see. I guess the first part, have nothing to do with foolish and ignorant controversies. Again, there's plenty of things and opinions that we all have, and I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with a healthy debate, having a conversation, X, Y, and Z. But it's a totally different thing to put a yoke on someone. I guess I'm wondering, like, how different is it from what the Pharisees and Sadducees was doing to Jesus himself? Like what we do to one another. And is that why, Paul is like, hey, don't quarrel about opinions, Y'all can go deeper with that thought, but just saying, I'm just reading some Bible here, okay? Speaking of that verse, I just showed mentioning, it's Romans 14:1. It says, as for the one who is weak in faith, welcome him, but not to quarrel over opinions. Y'all, I mean, I guess all of this that I've seen today and the different verses in the Go Deeper section and everything like that is just pretty much saying to fellow believers that, yeah, okay, there's a time for rebuke. There's a time for, calling out sin and things of that nature. There's a time to stand, right, and everything like that. But the things that are clearly in the Bible that we shouldn't be arguing about, again, that celebrations, food, Sabbath, clothes, I don't know, like all the different stuff that the Bible is clear about that we shouldn't quarrel about. How about we don't quarrel about that? And and I guess that's ultimately the juice this morning. Y'all can go deeper about all of these things. There's plenty of verses and articles again that I took a look at, so you guys can also peruse and let marinate on your hearts, souls, and minds. Here goes some of them. One of them was, is there a biblical list of sins? Because on one hand, it's like maybe if we just all had it laid out, like what it is, and then we'll know, like, what is worth arguing about and what's not worth arguing about. But you guys can check out that article and see what it has to say about that. I told you about the other two already. How can we experience true freedom in Christ? And then the other one was, when is it necessary to rebuke another believer? I think that one was really good as well, because then there's a list at the bottom of it that talks about that we should do, that we should think about before we rebuke one another and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's ultimately the juice this morning, y'all. Let's kind of chill out on the quarrels and the infighting. I mean, there's plenty of verses that talks about how it's not beneficial. It can become a stumbling block to someone else. So you don't want to do that and everything like that. Now, again, let me be clear. I'm putting it on the table. I'm not sitting here saying that this gives us a way, the loophole to just do whatever we want to do, because that's not biblical either. But what I'm saying is that we do have freedom in Christ, but we shouldn't be, again, if my freedom is going to cause someone else to stumble, then, hey, perhaps I need to refrain from, exercising my freedom around that certain person or whatever the case may be. But the Bible lays all of that out, so y'all can go and look at that and peruse that and let those things marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. Now, the Bible verse of today is Proverbs 11:25. It says, the liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Friends, I hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys will go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us, because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.